The Todd Shapiro Show.
Time to hit the button!
On Canada Talks, SiriusXM 167.
Really looking forward to this, man. I was in a massive bind last week, and we were moving, and we had to do a couple of last minute fixes, and we had a plumber actually cancel on us, and it was part of the conditions to sell the home, as the fact that we needed stuff fixed and everything, and it was crazy time, and anyone who knows when you move, it's stressful. And then, believe it or not, also the air conditioning went at our house the day before the sale, and you have to fix that according to all the rules. Everything has to be in working condition. So I heard of this great app called Jiffy On Demand, the Jiffy app, and I'm telling you, this friggin' thing saved my life to the point where I'm like, I need to get the owners, I need to get people, representatives from the company in here to tell me about not only what they do as a business, but just really how it all came about, and between tech and trades and how it all works and how customers and clients can be satisfied like I was. So please welcome to the program a couple old friends really, Paul Arlin and Jamie Grossman. Hey guys.
Hey Todd, how are you?
Good, Jamie. Nice to see you. Hey, Paul.
Great to be here.
Great to have you guys. So, you guys just take this away. How did this thing come about?
Where to start?
So, full disclosure, I am married to Paul's sister.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. So how the story goes is my wife and I move into our first house, and we buy a new light fixture, and my wife needs stuff done immediately. So the thought of that light fixture sitting in a box on our floor was just a non-starter. So I think I asked the lighting store if they had an electrician who can come and install it that day. They handed me a couple business cards, called them. No answer, of course. It was Saturday morning. Started calling around. No one was able to come by to do it maybe for a week or two. And that's when I thought there should just be a dispatching app to find the nearest electrician to pass by my house. I'm sure there was someone right out, within a kilometer of me. I could have just gone on a main street, flagged them down. But there was no way of connecting with that electrician. I think I pitched this idea to Jamie at a family dinner. He loved it, and he was the one who said, drop whatever you're doing and do this, because if you don't do it, someone else will. And probably took at least 3-4 months from that moment till we actually kicked it into high gear. But I credit James with pushing me to team up with him and go in on this, and our third co-founder, Ryan.
So, Jamie, is your background like business oriented, getting stuff done, to get to that point and have a thought like this and then make it come to fruition?
Yeah, so I had built a media company, online advertising business, and I'd sold it to Yellow Pages in 2010. And then I would take a bunch of time off, investing in some internet companies, some real estate. And every week, Paul was pitching me some crazy idea. Some which were probably not legal, some which were probably too lucrative. And I had been investing in startups, so I'd seen 150 decks for startups. Half the time couldn't even understand what they were about, and I came from that space. And Paul, nailed it. He explained this idea to me, and I immediately thought, this is something I understand, and this is something I think people will need. So
one of those, while you bring it up, one of those business ideas, Todd, you'd love this. It's a dating app. And a dog walking app in one. So if you're a dog owner, you need your dog walked.
Don't share this stuff. I'll invest in this one.
Yeah. You're a dog owner, you need your dog walked, $20 an hour. Then on the other end of the marketplace, there's a single person wants to walk a dog to meet people the old-fashioned way. And they pay $20 an hour to rent the dog. The app makes $40 an hour.
That's brilliant. You rent the dog because you need the dog to meet the date. So you got to get a dog from somewhere.
The marketplace is just counting the money.
So this is one of the ones I thought was crazy, and I wasn't into.
Meanwhile, people would probably do both.
Yeah.
I love Jamie. I love that as someone who has success, sold a business, takes the time, goes through a bunch of different decks, and sees something and believes in it. So at that point now, and this is more of an entrepreneurial sort of a lesson, say like a TED Talk for those listening. Because everyone has ideas. And by the way, your comparison, analogy, whatever, of your wife going, we got a box here, we got to get this thing hung, because when you move or settle, people just know you don't want to sit there with boxes forever and ever. It drives people crazy. You want to feel like it's your comfortable home, and you want to make it happen quick. So what's the from idea to go, yeah, let's take this somewhere, because I'm sure people are listening going, like, it's that next step that really never ever happens. So how did that come about?
My 2 lessons for people to learn is, number one, that the biggest difference between a successful entrepreneur and one that wasn't successful, 90% of it is someone got up and tried.
Wow.
I don't think, and Paul would agree with me, we've been told, I would guess 100 times by people, oh, we had the same idea. I've thought about that. Well, the difference is we did it, we tried, and someone else didn't. So A, trying is the first step. B, I think when people are starting tech companies, the first thing they think is, I need hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I need to go hire some company to build me an app or a website or something. The first thing Paul and I did is we went out and we found, I would call him a partner, but instead of hiring someone, a shop to build us some app, we went out and found someone who could do it for us, with us. So we hired an employee it took us 6 months to find him. Mm-hmm. But we found someone that we believed could build this with us. So we weren't hiring a shop and paying them, $100,000, and they were going to hand over some technology that would need to be changed, and who knows.
You build it out together, some equity in the company, I would imagine.
Yep.
A lower salary, but the belief also, obviously, this individual completely believed in building it out. So is this where you start throwing him, Paul, a bunch of different ideas to build out Jiffy On Demand and to really get, like, in its infancy, where did it start?
Yeah, so I mean, just like Jay mentioned, I'm sure tens of thousands of people had this idea. We take zero credit for having this idea. Ideas are worthless. I remember in the early days when, just like I was telling you about the dog walking app, James like, do not tell anyone about this idea. Keep it under wraps. And it took a good, 4 or 6 months while we were at our existing jobs to actually get the team. Probably interviewed 25 different devs till we found Mike. But the idea is worthless. Execution's everything. And I think one of the things we did right was, in the beginning, we just got a product out. I think Mike, our developer, our still to this day CTO, built our MVP, so that's the minimal viable product. In 6 weeks, we built a web app, and we got it out in the market. It looked awful. Sorry, Mike, no offense. It looked awful. It didn't even really work. It was very manual. If you ordered an electrician at that time, it was probably me getting alert and then calling the 3-4 electricians I onboarded before that. And then when none of them picked up the phone, because they don't pick up the phone, I was just hitting the yellow pages and calling top-rated electricians.
I mean, this is neat behind-the-scenes stuff.
Was,
like, you just got it out there and you figure out after.
It was absolutely manual. Appliance repair techs, very hard to get them on your schedule in the city. Very unreliable. I'd say for the first 3 to 4 months, if you ordered an appliance repair tech, it was me calling appliance companies on your behalf. Now, if you press a button, we probably dispatch 60 to 80 companies just in the GTA of that job, and it gets accepted in within 5 minutes on average. But we just got it out there. Us three as youngish homeowners, we were cool with someone completely random showing up to our house. Now, that's the big difference between Jiffy and other platforms to find your local plumber, electrician, handyman. We assume that the young homeowners actually won't care who's coming, so long as a marketplace that they're used to using, Uber, what have you, has vetted them so they meet the proper criteria and they're rated by other users. As long as I'm paying a fair rate, they come on my schedule and the service is guaranteed, what do they have to lose? If you want Joe the plumber to come because he was nice to you last time, chances are he's not available on your schedule. He may not answer the phone. It's such a small job. He's not going to come across town for you. If you don't care what plumber comes to do your few tasks you have to do, then we're able to actually deliver an instant experience to you. So we really had a different approach to it than a lot of other people. And we weren't sure whether other quote-unquote random people were going to be cool with that. And they were. And we quickly saw random people were using it. And that was the neat moment, I think, when the first random person used it. So,
and what services across the board would be available on Jiffy On Demand?
There's about 40 services in our cities. Plumbing, electrical, gas, HVAC, handyman, lawn maintenance, window cleaners, gutter cleaners, gutter repair people,
Dog walkers? You got dog
No,
walkers?
no.
Okay.
So everything's home maintenance
Yes.
and repair specific. It's also think same or next day under $500 jobs around the house. So we don't do any home improvement. If you're renovating or building, stuff happens.
Yeah.
There's a lot of human involvement. There's a lot of human error. Jiffy's approach is we're a live marketplace that guarantees all the work that's being done. So no matter what you order, we guarantee that service. And we're able to do that because it's just unclogging a drain, swapping out a light fixture, installing a dimmer, mounting a TV. There's no quality differences between any of the pros. They can all do these black and white tasks, and they're all pre-priced.
I love it. We're here with Jamie Grossman and Paul Arlin from Jiffy, Jiffy On Demand. Do you call it Jiffy mainly?
Jiffy.
Yeah. Okay. Even though it's Jiffy On Demand is where you look for things, right? Or is that?
Well, that's the
okay.
website
And the handle, I think. And but
Yep.
Jiffy, let's stick
Yep.
with Jiffy. Make it short and concise. I apologize. I don't want to be off branding. And so talking Jiffy, and so like when you start to see users and stuff. And this is growing your idea now. How do you, because this is the thing, like with people with ideas, so you get it out there, it's growing. How do you make sure that you update it? Like I want to understand the hustle behind growing something that is successful. Getting the sales, getting the teams, getting all the different trades to be a part of it. Like, how much of a hustle is that for just a small crew?
I think obviously capital is an important piece to this.
Okay.
And so in the early days, my focus was finding money, going out and raising money. Paul and our other partner, Ryan, they really dealt with the day-to-day operations of the business, and they did an unbelievable job at that. So a key to this is money, raising money. And so we raised money early on, and it was kind of the friends and family path early on, convincing people that we can be trusted.
Yep.
And we knew what we were doing, and finding people to use the tools. So as Paul mentioned, that first version of what we didn't look great, but we got people on it. And to Paul and Ryan's credit, they called in favors and they got a lot of their friends to use it. I asked some of my family friends to use it so that it was going and we could learn just from the users we had, and then go out to people and try and raise money from them and say, look, we've got 60 people who've used this. I remember in the early days we would get excited when we did it was 3 jobs a day was a big day.
Yeah, two or less would be a bad day.
Right.
4 or more would be an awesome day.
Right.
And what are you at now, around?
Hundreds a day.
My goodness.
And you look back, I've got Excel sheets from the early days where it was 3 this day, 2 the next day, 5 the next day. That's a good minute for us now, and it's a hustle.
And how many users across? How many countries are you in now?
We're in Canada and the U.S.
Okay.
Yeah, select cities. So it really is centered around bigger cities. You
Sure.
need a lot of, liquidity. So we need a lot of plumbers in a city to make sure that, we can onboard a lot. And we're constantly, it's a managed marketplace. So they have a high threshold. So the plumber and then the heating and cooling tech that came to you, they get rated after every job. If their ratings dip below a certain amount, if we see they have too many no-shows or they were late too many times or whatever, we're very quick to actually part ways with poor performers and elevate those top trades. So this wouldn't work in areas that only have 8 plumbers. To tell you the truth, it's not that much more convenient than you just calling those 8 plumbers. I still think it is, but when there's hundreds or thousands of trades in a city, the app is just it's great.
It's I love this, and I love the success story here on Jiffy. So, what's next now for Jiffy? Like, what's next in the growth plans?
We Go ahead.
No, I was going to say we were going to own North America, and then we'll go on and own the rest of the world.
Yeah, I
love it.
Just like you were saying with the hustle. The first part was getting the trades on board. So that was my piece of the business, and I started with my buddy's brother, who's an electrician, who wasn't available that one time. I
thought you were going to say wasn't Jewish.
He actually is Jewish.
Okay,
and
it's true.
And the one plumber that came to my house before then, and the 2 handymen that I've used in the past, and I just started there and met them for a coffee, showed them the idea. They were into it. Then I got them to whip out their phone, give me your handyman, give me your electrician, give me your gas guy, went to meet them for coffee and so on and so forth. And it totally was a hustle in the early days. And more than anything, I think they were just buying into our passion and our vision and saying, be one of the first. And now trades are constantly applying to Jiffy.
I was going to ask, it must be nice for them because, if they're short work one week or whatever, that this provides a lot of income for people.
It's an unbelievable platform for them. It's hard for us to express that without seeming like we're just another platform that the other platforms out there charge a monthly fee. So if you're an electrician, you can go on sites and pay a monthly fee for your listing and priority
get
listing.
some exposure or whatever.
But
yep.
There's no guaranteed work, obviously, and you're busy all day fielding phone calls, tire kickers, this or that. There's some lead gen platforms, so you pay $10 to $30 per potential job. You're still calling. There's a lot of time calling, quoting. Maybe you get the job. Maybe the client pays you.
And do you, sorry to interrupt, Paul, but do you do all the accounting as well for the trades then?
Everything.
See, that's amazing because I know trades hate that stuff.
So
right? Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's no different than so they're busy. They're doing their days. If their days are 80% full, hey, you may as well be on Jiffy. It's completely free. We take between 10 and 15% of the billings, which is extremely low for everything that we do. So we'll get you the client. Only take what you want. If you don't want the job, just leave it. You're busy on your own job. In the early days when I was cold calling companies, and I'm like, hey, pest control company, this is this new app. We'll send you jobs, and they go, but we're full as is. Why would we pay you guys a percentage on every job? And we say, do you ever get a day of cancellation? Well, of course. Great. You may as well be on the app. When you get that day of cancellation, pop it open.
Nothing to
take
lose.
the job. 85 or 90% of something's better than 100% of nothing. And they'd sign up. And sure enough, they're taking, now, some of them dozens of jobs a day. And it's completely incremental to their business.
From a business point of view, I think most people think of our business as a consumer-facing business. They think of you needed something fixed in your house, and people think of Jiffy as users. I think the really impressive side of the business is what Paul just discussed, which is there are trades that would have to in the past would have to market to get jobs, spend money on yellow pages. They'd have to hustle to find work. They can go on to Jiffy now and they can make not just a living. We have trades who have added trucks to their.
Wow.
They've grown their business.
Must feel good.
It's unbelievable, and we've changed lives for these tradespeople who want to work their tail off, but in the past have never had a way to find jobs other than paying some referral service.
And that's just the company owners. I think one of the things we're most proud of is
the trades themselves.
The trades themselves. So if anyone's listening right now, if you're a plumber and you work for a big plumbing company, or you're an electrician and you work for a builder or whatever, a lot, if you don't want to start your own business, it takes a lot. You got to come up with the branding, figure out how to get clients, you deal with the customer service, the bookkeeping, the payment processing. There's a lot that goes into running a business that you're going to spend 50% of your days not billing and just dealing with running a business. Jiffy's a business in a box solution for you. So if you go on our app, our rates are industry average in every category. So a plumber, for instance, $90 an hour, hour and a half minimum call out fee. That's about.
Hang on, do you hear that, Bilal? You should have become a plumber.
Damn it!
And these plumbers that used to be working salaried and whatever are now earning 85, 90% of what their bosses were earning, and it's
brilliant, dude. For them, it's brilliant because the overhead costs in running a business it will make you nuts. And if you can do that and just lose 10 to 50%, you're way ahead of the game.
And
trust me.
We have everything for them. We have a marketing team. We have customer service. They don't deal with all the questions clients have before and after a job. We deal with all that. So when you actually take their whole day into consideration, the small percentage they pay us is. They're going to pay way more than that if they were running their own business. And a lot of them wouldn't be. I think they've seen it. And then they tell all their friends. And in Toronto, we have tons of companies applying every day. And we constantly need more because the user base is growing as well.
Jamie and Paul from Jiffy. One of the things with trades, and I'll talk personally here, is you always have a couple of bad apples within the trades. But I can tell you, because I've done a lot of renovations on homes to buy and flip, and now I'm building my own cottage, and the majority of them are unbelievable. I have a massive respect for the trades. And it's funny how people, you think a white collar is one way, maybe blue collar the other way or something, and it's such BS. Trades are a lot of them are like artists, really, like the things they can do, I think of. And I guess what I'm asking you guys, have you found a new respect for really what trades do to keep I can't swear anymore. Going like moving along, like they're hardworking individuals. It's something to really be respected.
I recently watched a tiler do a job, tiling someone's bathroom. That is hard work. It is not easy. And there is artistry involved. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for these guys. And why I started to talk about that side of the business is I think what we can do for them is pretty amazing. And I think we're helping them in ways other businesses haven't in the past.
Yeah,
it's a real job. It's a hard job.
And it's listen, I don't want to like, talk about it in a negative light or anything, but it's like an upgrade. Like it's an app. It's guaranteed. It's easy. It's accessible. It's rating systems. Like, think of Uber to taxi. Like, who wants to get in a taxi anymore? You want to get in a clean Uber car. And I think of it this way. You want to have a trusted trade coming on. I just love the story behind it. When are you guys going public?
You can get in on our next private race.
Yeah, doing some next races, Paul and Jamie. Well, listen, I had to bring you guys in here, and it was really ironic how it worked out. I did get suggested by another friend to use Jiffy. Didn't even necessarily know that you two were involved. I think I knew Paul, you on the periphery were, to be honest. I didn't know Jamie Grossman, a friend from the past, was. And then you guys saved my ass. You saved my wife's ass. We're moving, and I'm like, I got to do you a solid here because you guys did me such a solid. And I will always encourage and implore people to go and download Jiffy on demand. And I'm telling you, it's once you use this, you're never going to pick up a Yellow Pages or Google anyone ever again. It's just got all your home fixes, right? Is that the best way to say it?
Yeah, absolutely. And if your listeners want to use Shapiro 50, it'll give them $50 credit in their account. So anyone listening,
I'll tweet that out too and Instagram. That's great. Shapiro 50. Love it.
Let's
$50 off.
Unless you got something more creative. It can be anything you want.
I don't know if you want to use Shapiro. No, well, we can use Shapiro. Or Todd 50.
Todd 50.
Let's do Todd 50. Yeah. I hate using my name as my own product. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thanks
really,
for having us,
congrats
Todd.
on all your success. And so nice to see
Appreciate
you both
it.
again.
Good seeing you.
Nice seeing you.
Cheers, Paul and Jamie from Jiffy. Make sure you go and download it today.
This is the Todd Shapiro Show on Canada Talks, SiriusXM 167.